Tourism Pathshala, it will transform your dream into reality.
Good morning, my dear student. This is our question paper solve analysis series. Not only question paper solve, we also prepare the based on previous year question paper analysis and chapter wise. I have decided to choose the research and statistics because these chapters is very important for paper 1 and paper 2, and each and every student can score from this area if you clear your concept. So we're going to start and learn the June 2023 question paper. These questions are based on research and statistics. The first question: which of the following is associated with cluster analysis? Our question is based on cluster analysis. They have given the four option. Option number 1, Bartlett test of sphericity. Number 2, percentage of variance. Number 3, correlation matrix. Number 4, distance coefficient matrix. The correct option is the cluster analysis. The correct option is the distance coefficient matrix. The point is first of all, we have to understand what is cluster analysis. The cluster analysis is a technique. First of all, we remember the cluster analysis is a technique used for what? To group similarity object into cluster based on their characteristics. Group similarity object into cluster based on their characteristics. The core concept of cluster analysis is measuring similarity and dissimilarity. Similarity and dissimilarity measurement is the core concept of the cluster analysis. And similarity and dissimilarity means distance between the observation. Now, the point is why option number 4 is the correct, distance coefficient matrix, because distance coefficient matrix contain distance between all pair observation. Distance means dissimilarity between all pair observation. And it is the foundation of clusters method like hierarchical clustering and k-means, indirectly use distance. Without distance measuring, clustering cannot be performed. So this is the direct association with cluster. Now we are going to analyze another 3 options. Number 1, the Bartlett test. Why other options are incorrect? This is a very important area. We have to understand why other options are incorrect. Bartlett test of sphericity. Bartlett test of sphericity means used in the factor analysis. Check whether variables are correlated enough to proceed, and not used in cluster analysis. The Bartlett test not used in the cluster analysis. Second important area, percentage of variance. Second point they have given, the used percentage of variance used in principal component analysis and factor analysis. So how much variance is explained by component, not cluster analysis. Correlation, next, correlation matrix. Correlation matrix shows the relationship between variable used in factor analysis and PCA. PCA means principal component analysis. Cluster analysis main focus of cluster analysis distance, not correlation. Next, quick remember technique. Cluster analysis is related the distance and similarity. Factor analysis is related the correlation and Bartlett test. And PCA, principal component analysis, is related to variation explained. So these are the important topic we have to remember. Next is the regression analysis. Next question is based on regression analysis. The question is which of the following statement is true regarding the regression analysis. So our question is based on regression analysis. Which of the following is the regarding the regression analysis? UGC given us the four statements. Statement 1, regression analysis reveals the average relationship between two variables. Second statement, in the regression equation, A and B are called independent variables. Third statement, in the regression equation on y on x, y is the dependent variable and x is the independent variable. And fourth, the regression coefficient byx and bxy are symmetric. The statement 1, regression analysis reveal the average relationship between two variables. This is right. Why? First of all, we have to understand what is regression analysis. Regression analysis studies how our variable change with respect to other variable changes with respect to others. It gives a functional, is a very important cause-effect relationship. Unlike correlation, which only measures association, correlation measures association, and regression associated the cause-effect relationship. Regression does not predict exact value. It gives best fit line, or this is called line of regression, shows the average trend. As example, if income increase, consumption tend to increase but not perfectly. Regression shows the average increase in consumption for a given increase in income. So statement 1 is true. The regression analysis studies the average relationship between variables. Statement 2, A and B are constant. Statement B is the false because A and B are constant, means parameter, not variable. A and B is the constant, independent variable is x, not coefficient. Statement 3 is true because in regression of y on x, y is the dependent variable. This is the formula, y equal to a plus bx. Y is the dependent variable and x is the independent variable. The statement 4, regression coefficient byx and bxy are not symmetric. They are related but not equal. This is the false. Byx not equal to bxy. So these are the equation, regression equation, y equal to a plus bx, y here dependent variable, x is the independent variable, a is the intercept means constant and b consider as a slope, regression coefficient. A, B are constant means parameter, not variable. This point is very important, my dear student, you try to remember. Regression coefficient byx equal to regression coefficient y on x, bxy regression coefficient x on y. So these are the important area of our regression analysis. Now we move on our next question. Our next question, the question number 84, June 2023. This question is based on research report. Which principle of research report writing prescribes that text should not have abrupt, text should not have abrupt and racked beginning and ends? This is a very important question. They have given the four options: principle of connectivity, principle of indentation, principle of openness, and principle of assembly. The correct option is principle of connectivity. Now question is why it is correct. So first of all, we have to understand the principle of connect. First to understand the phase they have given. The phase UGC have given, the text should not have abrupt and racked beginning or end. Means no sudden start on stop idea. No disconnected sentences or paragraph. Writing should feel smooth, continuous, and logically linked. These should be the core concept of principle of connectivity. In-depth explanation, the principle of connectivity. The principle of connectivity, logical flow ideas. It ensures the logical flow ideas. Each sentence should connect with the previous one. Each paragraph should follow clear sequence. Ideas should not appear randomly. This is the logical flow of idea. Each sentence should connect with the previous one. The previous sentence and this sentence, current sentence should be linked. Example, abrupt. The tourism is important. Hotels are increasing. Pollution is rising. This is not no connection. This is called the abrupt sentence. But connected, if we go into the connected sentence, tourism is important because it boosts economic growth. As tourism increase, the the number of hotel also rise, which may lead to environmental issues like pollution. These are the connected formula. These are the connected way. So this is the important. The smooth beginning and ending is another important part. Paragraph should start with clear introduction and with a logical conclusion or link to the next idea. Use linking word, that is called the transition word, as example, therefore, however, moreover, in addition, on the other hand. Unity in writing, all sentence in a paragraph should relate to one main idea. That is called the logical flow of idea. Why other option does not fit? This is a very important point. Why other option? The principle of indentation. What do you mean by principle of indentation? Deal with the formatting and paragraph spacing. Indentation means formatting and paragraph spacing. Has nothing to do with the idea of flow. That is called principle of indentation. Principle of openness. What do you mean by principle of openness? Means focus, honesty, transparency, not base structure or smoothness. Or principle of assembling, related to presenting argument confidently, making claims strongly, not about linking idea. Principle of assembly. So my dear student, this is a quick memory trick. Principle of connectivity means connection and flow. Good. So now we move on the next question, the question on the qualitative research approach. This question has given June 2023, question number 86. To studying represent philosophical approach idea that human experience based on subjective. Human experience itself is inherently subjective. So the important point, the correct answer is the phenomenology, because the subjective inherent, because based on experience, philosophical approaches of research, the human experience based on subjective. So the detailed explanation why phenomenology is right. According to statement, inherently subjective. Inherently subjective means the human experience are personal, individual, and based on how people perceive and interpret the world rather than objective facts. Why phenomenology is correct? So another reason, phenomenology is a qualitative research approach. Qualitative research approach that focus on understanding life experience of individual, exploring how people perceive, feel, and interpret event, and emphasizing subjectivity and consciousness. That is called the phenomenology. Why other option is incorrect? First of all, we have to understand the ethnography. Ethnography means studies culture and social group. This concept is very interesting, my dear student. And the ethnographical research should be based on culture and social group. Focus on shared practices, not individual subjective experience. What is grounded theory? The grounded theory main aim to develop theory based on data. Theory based on data, not specifically focus on subjective experience. What is case study? Case study, what is case study? The case study in the in-depth analysis of a single case, person or event and broad method, not specifically about the subjective experience. So these are the comparative study between phenomenology, case study, ethnography and grounded theory. Main aspect of phenomena, main focus, these are the aspect. Focus on phenomenological research is live experience. The main focus of case study is in-depth case analysis. Main focus of ethnography is culture or group of people. And main focus of grounded theory is theory build-up. Core question of phenomenology is what is experience like? Core question of case study, what happened in case? Core question of ethnography, how group lives, and core question of grounded theory, what theory explain. Main unit of phenomenology is individual, unit of the case study is the case or person event, unit of ethnography is based on community, unit of grounded theory is based on processes. What is the goal of phenomenology? Goal of phenomenology is the essence of experience. Goal of case study is the detailed understanding. Goal of ethnography is the cultural interpretation. Goal of grounded theory is the developed theory. Data. In the case of phenomenology, data should be based on interview. Case study, in the case of case study, data collected through mixed sources. In the case of ethnography, data collected observation and fieldwork. In the case of grounded theory, data collected through interview and coding. In the case of phenomenology, the main outcome is the experience description. In the case of case study, main outcome is a case report. In the ethnography, the main outcome is a cultural insight. In the case of grounded theory, main outcome theory model. So, what is the memory trick? The memory trick phenomenology focus on subjective life experience. Case study focus on examining the specific case in depth. Ethnography main area cultural pattern of group, and grounded theories from systematically collected data and build up the theory. These are the important perspective. Now we move on. Our next question. The next question is based on characteristics of qualitative research. Which of the following characterize qualitative research? The important characteristics of qualitative research. They have given the 4 options: observe and interpret. Number A. Number B. Unstructured and freedom. C. Test hypothesis. D. Descriptive and causal research. E. Large sample to produce generalizable result. The correct option A and B is the correct. A and B is the correct. Why they are correct? So first of all, in the case of qualitative research, Observe and interpret is correct. Qualitative research focus, main focus of the qualitative research on understanding the meaning, experience and social phenomena. These are the important part. Qualitative research observe behavior, interaction and context, then interpret them. Example, studying how people feel about the online education through interview. Qualitative research, the second point they have told, the unstructured and freedom. Unstructured freedom. Qualitative research use a flexible and open-ended method. Data collection tools like interview, focus group, observation are often unstructured or semi-structured. And qualitative research allow participants to express their views freely. That's why unstructured and freedom statement is correct. Now the case is the hypothesis. Qualitative research, hypothesis testing main part of hypothesis is the quantitative research. In the case of quantitative research, we use the hypothesis test. Qualitative research usually exploratory research aiming to generate idea, not the test them. Qualitative research generate hypothesis, not test them. In the case of quantitative research, we test the hypothesis. Case of descriptive and causal research, this is incorrect. First part of this statement, the qualitative research is descriptive, it is true. But causal research, cause-effect relationship is typically quantitative. Cause-effect relationship is a typically quantitative. Since this option include causal, it is not suitable for qualitative research. The large sample to produce generalized result, that is the incorrect. Qualitative research use a small sample size and purposive samples, depth, not generalization. Example, interview the 10 people deeply, that is the qualitative. Serving 1000 people is the quantitative. These are the key features of qualitative research. Number 1, subjective and interpretive. Number 2, focus on meaning and experience. Number 4, the flexible research design. Number 5, small sample size. Data in word, not number. Exploratory in nature and context-based analysis. These are the qualitative research. Now, we move on the next question. Our next question based on the sampling technique. Following at the probability sampling technique, question number 94. They have given the option judicial sampling, snowball sampling, quota sampling, systematic sampling, cluster sampling. The question is following at the probability sampling technique except. So A, B, C are the non-probability sampling. Judicial sampling, snowball sampling and quota sampling. Systematic sampling and cluster sampling is the probability sampling. D and E. D and E is the correct answer. D and E. The D and E is the probability sampling. Following out the probability sampling technique. Yes. Step by step explanation. The question asks which of the following are not probability sampling technique. Probability sampling, what do you mean by probability sampling? Should be random selection. Each unit has equal chance of the selection. The systematic sampling and cluster sampling both are the probability sampling. What is non-probability sampling? Non-random selection. Not equal chance of the selection. As a judicial sampling based on research or judgment. Snowball sampling, participants refers other. Quota sampling, fixed quota, non-random. There are the probability non-probability. They are not probability sampling, they are the non-probability sampling. Technique. So these are the another important question based on probability and non-probability sampling. Our next question is based on validity in research and type of validity. Okay. So UGC, this question is based on June 2023, question number 125. Match the types of validity. They have given the validity, phase validity, content validity, criteria validity, construct validity. And these are the description. The A 1, 2, 3, 4. A scale content reflect what was intended to be measured. Number 2, the degree that measures covers the breadth of the domain of interest. Number 3, ability to measures to correct with other standard measures of similarity construction. Next, ability of measures to reliably measures a unique concept. Okay. First of all, we have to understand the type of validity. Then we solve this answer. Okay, the phase validity. The phase validity is scale. Phase validity is scale content reflect what was intended to be measured. That is called the scale validity. What is the really measures? Sorry, these are the phase validity. What is phase validity? The scale content reflect what was intended to be measured. Phase validity is the most basic and superficial types of validity. It asks, does this test look like it measures what it should? It is based on appearance, not statistical proof. Through example, you can remember a math test with calculation problem looks valid. A math test with history question, no phase validity. A math test with calculation problem looks valid. A math test with history question, no phase validity. Second point, the content validity. The degree that measures covered the breadth of the domain of interest. What is really means? Content validity. Content validity check how well test cover all part of the concept. Content validity main area, test cover all part of the concept, not judge appearance but completeness. As example, if we are testing English proficiency, it should be include grammar, reading, vocabulary, writing. These are the content. It is, if it only tests vocabulary, that is called the poor content validity. It cover everything, grammar, reading, vocabulary, writing. That is called the high content validity. C, the criteria validity. Criteria validity, ability to measures to correct with other statement measures the similar construction. What is really means? This validity check whether our test agree with an external standard, that is called the criteria. Does this test give similar result as a trusted test? Types of criteria validity: concurrent validity and predictive validity. Concurrent validity measures at the same time. Predictive validity measures predict future performance. Example: a new IQ test should give similar result to an established IQ test. Entrance exam score predicting college success. If correlation is high, good criteria validity. If correlation is high, good criteria validity. What is construct validity? Ability of measures of reliability measures a unique concept. What is really means? This is most complex type of validity. It checks whether test truly measures on abstract concept. This is the construct validity based on the abstract concept. Intelligence, anxiety, motivation. These are the related the construct validity. So, what is the correct option? Option number A1. Option number 1 is the correct. A1, B2, C3 and D4. So phase validity means A scale content reflect what was intended to be measured. Which is the content validity means the degree that measures cover the breadth of the domain of interest. Criteria validity, the ability of a measures to correlate with other standard measures of similar construct and construct validity, ability of measures to reliably measures a unique concept. So these are the memory trick. Phase validity looks correct. Correct means appearance. Content validity cover full content. Criteria validity compare with standard, and construct validity measures the theoretical concept. So these are the concept of validity and types of validity. I have a separate video on validity in research. I will give you the in my link. I give you the link in my description box. You may follow this. Okay, next question. Now we move on our next question. Our next question is based on the factor analysis. I have so many questions about the factor analysis. So this question, June 2023. Question number 134. Arrange the following steps involving factor analysis in the order in which of these steps are undertaken. They have given the 5 steps. So the correct option, the correct logic, option number 4, DABEE. Now step 1, construction of correlation matrix. This is the state point factor analysis based on relationship among the variable. These relations are captured in the correlation matrix. Without this matrix, we cannot extract factor. So construction of correlation matrix, D statement first. Step 1. Step 2, the deciding the number of factor. After building correlation matrix, we extract initial factor and decide how many factors should be kept. There is a different method has been used: eigenvalue, scree plot, percentage of variance explained. Now step 3. The step 3 is the factor rotation. The purpose is rotation makes factor clear, interpretable, simplify structure. Before rotation, variable may load the multiple factor, and after rotation, each variable load the strongly on factor. So step 1, this is the step 1. This is the step 2. Step 1, construction of correlation matrix. Step 2, deciding the number of factor. Step 3 is the factor rotation. Factor rotation, we use the orthogonal factor remain independent, varimax, oblique, the promax factors can correlate. Then step 4, substantive interpretation. After rotation, factor loading become clear. We assign meaning or label to each factor. And step 5, checking the model fit. Final validation step, we check whether the model is acceptable. There is a various method: goodness of fit, residual correlation matrix, KMO, and Bartlett test. So option number 4 is the correct. DA, step 1, D, D1, B2, DA, BC, B3, B3, E4, E4, and C1, C5. So D1, this is the 1, the construction of correlation matrix. The second, deciding the number of factors written in final solution. B means third point, factor rotation. Next, E, substantive interpretation, and C, checking the model fit. Now we move on to our last question. The question number June 2023. This question is based on distribution safe kurtosis. The statement 1, kurtosis of normal distribution is 0. If the kurtosis is positive, then distribution flatter than normal distribution. Both statement 1 and 2 are true. Both statement 1 and 2 are false. Statement 1 is true. Statement 2 is false. And statement 1 is false and statement 2 is true. So the correct option, option number 3. Why option number 3? Before that, we have to understand the kurtosis. Kurtosis measures the shape, thickness or flatness. This is the very important point. Kurtosis measures the shape of a distribution compared to normal distribution. There are two ways of kurtosis expressed. Number one, absolute kurtosis. Absolute kurtosis is the normal distribution, and excess kurtosis is a normal distribution. Absolute kurtosis normal distribution equal to 3. Excess kurtosis normal distribution equal to 0. And type of kurtosis, excess kurtosis equal to kurtosis minus 3. Now type of kurtosis. Now we have to understand the type of kurtosis. Mesokurtic is the normal distribution, excess kurtosis 0, say moderate peak, example normal distribution. Leptokurtic, this is the positive kurtosis, excess kurtosis greater than 0, say sharper peak, heavy tail, more extreme value. Platokurtic is the negative kurtosis, excess kurtosis less than 0, say flatter peak and light trail. So kurtosis type positive, greater than 0 is the shape more peaked. 0 normal distribution is a shape and negative flatter. So example, the normal distribution. Kurtosis type, basically 3 type you have to remember: mesokurtic, leptokurtic and platokurtic. Evaluating the statement 1, the statement in statistics where we say kurtosis equal to 0, we usually mean excess kurtosis. For normal distribution, excess kurtosis is 0. The statement is 1 is right. The statement is 1 is the kurtosis of normal distribution is 0. And evaluating statement 2, positive kurtosis, positive kurtosis means excess kurtosis should be greater than 0, means distribution more peaked. The leptokurtic has heavier tail, not flatter. Flatter distribution are called the platokurtic, have negative kurtosis. So statement 2 is false. So why statement 2 false? They have told the kurtosis is positive, then distribution flatter than normal distribution. This statement is false. So option number 3 is the right. So my dear student, these are the important question of June 2023 research and statistics. I try to give you the detailed explanation. If you want to take the private guidance, any suggestion, you may contact with myself. Thank you. Keep touch with this channel.